Hello, it's Mara from Houseplants in New Jersey. I had purchased this plant about 2 weeks ago. It's an Epipremnum pinnatum variegated, well, marble variegated. And I do want the leaves to size up. So I want to put it on a moss pole and I want to keep it like over here. Um so I'm gonna try it out. Might as well, right? So there's they call them, instead of like perforations, they call them pinatums, and then they also have like the fenestrations that happen in the leaves. So that's really cool. And then eventually the leaves can and will get bigger if you put them on a moss pole. And I've been like really experimenting with moss poles. I know a lot of people are getting out of moss poles, but I figure, let me do it. Let me try it. Let me try it out. So I haven't seen the roots on this yet. I just got it 2 weeks ago, but it has had a lot of growth. So since it's been with me, it's had about 4 new leaves. That's pretty cool. That's pretty good. Um, so like I said, I want to get it on a moss pole. All right. So I'm gonna put it in this orchid pot because I don't think they like to be too wet. Okay. Um, I'm gonna put it in this orchid pot. We're gonna put this moss pole in this orchid pot over here too. And then I have a catch pot on top of it. So that's what we're gonna do today. All right. So I wanna, first of all, let me angle you down because I want you to see when I pull it out of the pot itself. So it's in a really great mix. I got this from this girl on Facebook Marketplace, and she had absolutely beautiful plants. I also bought Florida Beauty from her, two Florida Beauties actually. Um, so any of the soil that falls off right here, look at these roots; they're really good. So that's a great start. Any of the soil that falls off, I'm just gonna put into this container here. All right, so we're going to use some of that because this is pretty fresh. This is good soil. All right, now with the moss pole, I want to put that in first. Now, I had just started using moss poles, these plastic back ones recently. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shove some moss up there. And what I'm finding is it helps with keeping the dirt in. So we don't have to put it all the way up the moss pole yet, but to the top of the pot. Okay? So that's where we want to stop putting the moss in. And then we'll start putting soil in. Okay? So I'm going to put a little bit more in, pack it up there. All right? So we know it's that line right there. And I'm going to put that off to the side. Now we're going to mix some of our soil. Okay, so I couldn't find my shovel thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of this. I have some chunky mix here, but it's not going to be chunky enough for this plant. So I'm going to mix some of that in, like a cup of that in. And then I have some other mixes here. I have some, I like this Better Grow orchid potting mix. So I'm going to mix it up and I'm going to dump some in there. All right. It has like some coarse, uh, it has some coarse perlite. It has some horticultural charcoal and obviously orchid bark. We're going to put some earthworm castings in here. All right. So I'm going to use a good amount. That's a really good fertilizer. And then also mosquito bits so that we don't get fungus gnats. All right. And this breaks down into the soil. All right. So we're just going to mix this up. Mix it up pretty good. Make sure everything is pretty even and so we got that old soil in here from, not old soil, it was pretty fresh soil for this plant. We got some of that in here, and then we also have what we're making here, what we made. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill some of this, I'm going to put some of this into the moss pole base. All right, because the roots will grow into the moss pole too. So we want this to go into the moss pole. Really pack it in there. Okay, now we're going to turn this pot pretty much upside down, pack that pole in there, and then turn it right side up so we don't get any spillage here. Now we're going to put some of this on the bottom. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to put our plant in here facing, so the vine I want facing the back. Okay. I want that vine facing the back. Make sure you pack down those roots. All right. And then we're going to fill the rest of the pot the rest of the way. Pack that in there. All right, and then we're going to want to go all around the back of the moss pole too. Okay, so make sure you get that dirt in there too. All right, so we're pretty good here. Now I'm going to take some plant Velcro, cut it. See this? We want to get an aerial root touching the moss pole, okay? Definitely. Now, I just started using this plant Velcro. I love it. I absolutely love it. I was using just zip ties before, but I actually love this Velcro. It's super easy. You could take it off and put it back on if you need to. It's really nice. So that's all we're going to do is we're going to get that aerial root right here into the moss pole, and that'll hopefully grow very well into there. Let me just tighten it up a little bit, which is easier with the plant Velcro than it is with a zip tie, because with the zip tie you just have to cut it and then re-zip it on there. All right. So now hopefully these leaves size up. And now we're just going to plop some more of this sphagnum moss down. We're going to keep going with that. And I'm going to fill up the whole entire pole. I don't have to fill up the whole entire pool, but I think it'll be a lot easier for me to water. Because you could put either a cup at the top or you could put a water bottle at the top with holes in it. It's a lot easier to manage. All right, so this is our Epipremnum pinnatum marble, or variegated, whatever you want to call it. And hopefully these leaves start growing into this moss pole. Let me put it into its catch pot because I want to show you guys in the catch pot. It's so cool. Oh, and let me take off some of this moss. So it's gonna, hopefully it sizes up. Hopefully it starts getting more fenestrations, pinnatums, patata. Um, but hopefully it gets all of that, and hopefully the leaves start getting bigger, and I'm gonna put it back on this back table here where all the other moss poles are in my space. I really like that area for the variegated plants and my special plants, so I could really look at them all the time. All right, and appreciate them. Um, Thank you. Like, subscribe, and comment. Uh, if you have a epipremnum, definitely let me know, or a epipremnum pinnatum. Let me know. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.